Hi, everybody. It's Saturday morning on, October 11th. I'd like to talk about this crazy lunatic, Netanyahu, who makes threats about nuking the U.S. cities. It makes me so mad because that guy, first of all, he's not like he was born in Israel. He was from Poland and he got sent over to be their prime minister. This is where the Zionists pop in. So Israel, in my opinion, is not the Israel that God is speaking about in the Bible. So that's why you got all the church people protecting these people, Netanyahu and stuff, and not questioning them. Check out this. Really? Didn't you just bomb the shit out of them during Operation Midnight Hammer and say that their nuclear program has to set for years? Now they can nuke us. So October 6th. So the Netanyahu, I just want to, let's see, is it in here? I think it's coming up.
Listen to how dumb this is, what he says. I'll point it out.
What is developing now?
They're developing now.
Ballistic missiles that are intercontinental ballistic missiles for 8,000-kilometer range.
So they're right now they're working on missiles that can go 8,000 miles. Well, Iran's farther than 8,000 miles away from the United States. That if they launched a missile at 8,000 miles, it would land somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic. So he says this.
Does that mean they add another 3,000 kilometers and they've got under their gun,
So all they have to do is after they...
Oh, come on, dude. I know you want to...
3,000 more that they don't have. And then right now their work is make when that goes 12.
My goodness, I want to hear the guy speak, not you, dude.
Talks about nuclear bombs hitting the United States.
Atomic guns. In New York City, in Target.
Look at his
Washington,
face.
Boston.
He's smiling about it. He literally is smiling about it.
Smiling. I'm not making that up. Am I making that up? He looks gleeful. That's called Duper's delight.
Miami.
What? Now, big smile. Come on, for the camera. Now talk about where the president lives and smile big.
Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago. Huh? That would be great. That would be great if there was a bomb. Oh my God, that fell at Mar-a-Lago. Woo! That we could get.
They really told us there's no question whatsoever that Iraq has weapons of mass destruction.
No question.
So they're talking about, I think it's Iran or Iraq, doing something in the big cities of the U.S. But anyway, as my opinion, Netanyahu is the problem with our nation. You've got Israel that is not the same Israel, in my opinion, that God mentions in the Bible. This Israel has been taken over by the devil, just like the United States was taken over by evil as well. So, and then here we're feeding all of our tax dollars over to Israel, that we're sending all of our weapons, and they got the Iron Dome over there that was all paid for by us, the taxpayers. And then now this goofball, which in my perspective, my opinion, I think Netanyahu, Jeffrey Epstein, and Trump, I think Trump owes Israel money because of Trump's money history. I think he had a couple of bankruptcies and a couple of casinos go down. And Trump, he's all about money. He's all about gold. He's all about status. And so, and the way to get that is to sell your soul. So, and we know that through just the people that go into Hollywood, where they tell you, they end up doing these rituals, these blood rituals, they're drinking each other's blood. They're drinking blood of children. They're, sacrificing children. And then, of course, you got Netanyahu and them over there, which they don't believe in Jesus at all. They've created their own God and their own messiahs and stuff. The Jews. Also remember, the Jews over there, They wear those black hats, and they have that little black box that goes on their. So they got their black cap on their head, and they got a little black box like they do in Islam, but they have that big, huge black box in the center, and then they have this rings a circle, or everybody goes around it and they pray to it. I forgot what it's called, but this is where we have an advantage, about not worshiping idols, not, praying or bowing down to them. And if you look at Trump's staff, Marco Rubio and his another few of his staff, they're all, even Erica Kirk, she's pro-Israel. And that's the thing about when it comes to Charlie, is that he was being threatened by Israel because Israel was giving him $2 million, but they wanted to censor him and to be pro-Israel. But at the last minute, he was like, no, I'm not going for this deal. And I'm not happy with Israel. So he went against Israel, and then next thing you know, he gets taken out. Now, how he gets taken out, I'm not sure if he's went to into a what do you call that? Secret program or whatever, they witness programs. I'm not sure. But then you got Candace Owens in a dream. This is, I saw him in a dream, and he had told her that that he's been betrayed. So who would betray him? You've got Trump, who groomed Erica Kirk, and actually Trump's father was the one who is the architect for Trump Tower. So you can see, and possibly that's why Kirk's family wasn't even around for his funeral, nor do they know where he's buried. Interesting, he doesn't even have a burial plot. So now he's coming to her in her dreams saying that they betrayed him. And I just think this is all coming down to it. And again, even Candace went against Israel too. So, and then this puppet is preventing all the Epstein files coming out. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, where is it up here? I think I'm looking at my history, what I was watching last night. You got him, who's also protecting Trump by keeping the government shut down. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying that both parties are purposely keeping the government shut down, and we know why, because it was due to the Epstein files. So again, and then of course on Candace Owens, they're preparing her now because they hit the dead man switch on her, and so she's been sending out all of her files to like 8 or 10 people, all the information she's got on Israel and everybody. See what else. Now, take this all with a grain of salt and however you guys view it. But I'll tell you one thing. This Israel is just a mess. And then you got Marco Rubio also right up there at Israel's boo-ha. So it makes you wonder, the people, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, and all them, are they part of this Epstein scandal as well, considering their Patel has been on getting grilled big time by the Congress, and so is Pam Bondi, and they're both just like, oh, well, we haven't got this. They're totally stalling everything out. They're purposely not wanting to give out those Epstein files. And then they're not a memorial, but outside the White House, I guess down a few feet into the national park, they put that bronze statue of Trump and Epstein holding hands, and they put the letter that Trump had written to Jeffrey Epstein in bronze as well. Well, Trump had it removed, and then they sued. They were getting ready. They threatened the Parks and Recreation because they had paid for that spot, and the people that put it or created it paid for it and everything. So it's done by permit. Well, so Trump tells them to take it away, remove it, and then the people that had it put up threatened the Parks and Recreation that they were going to sue them for everything, and they automatically go and they put it right back up. So again, they are doing everything in his power. I know everybody's like, oh, but Trump's changing the world. Trump's doing this. Trump's taking down the bad guys. Trump, this is the scariest part because you got Israel. Israel has given him Gaza. You had the Saudi Arabians give Trump a big, giant aircraft, even though Trump goes, oh, it's for the presidents of the United States. No, it's taking gifts, expensive gifts for something in favor. And then Israel's flag, I don't know if I can find it. Israel's new flag. Let's see if we can find it. Israel flag with 50 states on it. Now it says, United we stand with Israel. Well, that was before it got taken over. Prime Minister Netanyahu remarks at the 50 States One Israel event. It's kind of like I seen the star. It's like I seen his flag like this. It didn't have any red on it at all. It just had this star and this flag, and it had like this rainbow. Not a rainbow, but it had like this arrow going up, and it says 50 states. I'm telling you guys, this guy is just pure evil. And then having him say all that stuff, I don't know. I just think, and then Trump supposedly having a big announcement on October 15th. I don't know. I don't trust him. I never trusted him to begin with because he's always out for himself. He hates people so bad that he can't forgive them, and he'll go after them if they've done him wrong. Who needs a president like that? Seriously. This is where I'm trying to get with the Republicans as well. Is like, I'm not all for what a lot of crap that the Democrats are doing, but I'm not for this either. This has to stop. And everybody's like, oh, but his wife Melania is so beautiful. It's the same thing they did with Erica Kirk. Oh, Erica Kirk, the poor victim, his snake eyes. And it's like she's the one who went against her own husband, which I think this was all organized to take out Charlie from the beginning. From my perspective and what everybody else has just been, looking up, considering that she had sung a song about him. So, everything is like scripted. I understand that. And it's scripted for possibly for the people to wake up, the people to stop following, the people to stop believing in these corrupt rich people, these people that have things against our government, the employees of the government, possibly having to do with children, because we know that the Jews hang out with, have these little boys either tied to beds or remember in New York City where they caught him in the tunnels down there, and there was children's mattress and high chairs and everything, and there was blood all over the place, and they had built a temple, and after they got caught, they went and the Jews themselves immediately went over there, went and blocked it all off and filled it up with cement so no one could see or investigate anymore. It was, the most corrupt people is them. They are the worst. And I'm putting this out there because everything has to do with him. And this is interesting. Do you see this candle back here? Well, if you noticed where Charlie Kirk was killed, you can see the candle where Charlie Kirk would have been the center candle that they took out. See, again, this is all scripted and everything. I know and I realize that, but I am not. I am just sick of it, So I'm not. When people go, "Oh, you're supposed to be, supporting Israel," God does. I do, but I also know that Israel also means it's just like Genesis. Let me get my pad and paper. So you got Genesis, Genesis, genes, X, Y, and XX, male and female, genes, iron, staff, the blood, XY genes, iron staff, right? Creation, us, our body. Now, Israel, iron, staff, Ra is actually number 88. It's an element on the periodic table. There's also Ra that's mentioned in the Egyptian artwork. Ra is the sun, right? For radiant, for radium, but the meaning means radiant. So I-S, so you got the I-S, Ra, and L is the name of God. God, El Shaddai. El is also electric, because we're an electric universe. Our body is controlled by electricity. Our heart, they restart our heart with electricity. So, iron, staff, radiant, electric. But Israel thinks that they're elect and God's chosen. But remember, it says, I do believe in the New Testament, God comes back and makes a new covenant. So if he's making a new covenant, that means the old is null and void. So he's making a new covenant with Israel and the tribe of Judah, the lion. Judah means the lion. So if we look at this, we got the iron staff, radiant L, so it's our blood in the lion. The lion is like our senses, our cat senses, our sixth sense. That's how I look at that. But you can look at it however you want. But it's all interesting how it's kind of laid out in Scripture, but we have to do the work. It's like a parable. You have to solve the parable. And if we look at our world today, the people who build churches and houses and then call them the Church of God. And remember, God had already built his church in the beginning. And that's where I think is really most bizarre about people is they can't see that their body is the church of God. God made everything in the beginning, but now, and also I don't have my Bible, it's out in the truck, but the Bible was written from Arabic and Hebrew and translated, I think they translated it into Latin, and then it went from, maybe it was in Latin before. I can't quite remember, don't quote me on that. But anyway, let's put it this way, English wasn't even involved until the 1500s is when English come into play. And then when they tried to translate what's being written in these other languages into English, the distortion of how it's being played out, That's why I do believe, that's why so many people in the church go to these buildings. It's kind of like harvesting center. That's why Erica Kirk now, her motto is now go to church. So you go to church, right? Man makes a building. It's like man who makes a stadium with, you see the square, the playing field. They're like harvesting centers. Seriously, it's like a computer chip where they're storing the energy. And since we're built on energy, when people go to church, they're worshiping God, yet and doing all these sacrifices and eating his flesh and his blood. And again, like I've said before, our human body, I'm going to make an arm, torso, just sorry, arms and legs. Okay, and then our feet. Sorry, my feet's a little funky. So you got the four corners of Earth right here. Four corners. You see, the torso is four corners of the Earth. The heart's right here, diaphragm's right here. So, and up here is heaven. So God resides up here in our mind's eye, and then Jesus, so Father and Son, and possibly, I think, Holy Spirit is down here in our gut. So Holy Spirit, Son, and Father, they are one. So down the center of our body is the iron staff, the rod. This would be Israel. So if we can get people from thinking that where Israel, the actual land base of Israel, is how they created the Holy Land, right? Is, people go, oh, we got to do Israel. But it's not that. It's the iron staff. Israel is within us. This is the thing about the world stage. They have everybody looking outside and causing all these distractions instead of looking in your own body as being what is actually being written in the Holy Bible. Anyway, that's my spew and that's my cut. And I just want to say that all these people, in my opinion, you've got this goofball, Netanyahu, who is controlling our Congress and our presidents because he has, just like Jeffrey Epstein, dirt on them. So that's how he controls the United States. And if you don't see him controlling the United States, everything he wants, he gets. We have billions of dollars that go to him and his people every year. And now, I don't know, I heard it from some channel yesterday, to where now they're making the United States, the people in the United States, using their tax dollars to support his army over in Israel. So the people in Israel, their army in Israel, is like, we're paying for their health care. We're paying for their disability checks. We're paying for all that. Not them. They're not paying anything. We're paying it. You think about that. Do you think God is going around saying at the end times, go ahead and feed Israel all your money and let them destroy and genocide everything? And go ahead and let them move out the Palestinians out of Gaza, so we can just go ahead and hand it over to Trump. Saudi Arabia, oh, we'll just give you this big jet airliner. Don't worry about it. It's just a gift. We'll give it to Trump. It's not saying, and then Trump is trying to cover his butt saying, oh, no, it's for the presidents of the it's for the United States. Bull crap. We know that Trump makes all these deals and he's a businessman. My personal opinion, Trump is selling us out. And, because he's a snake, just like Erica Kirk is a snake. They're all snakes.